up, Nation? We have a lot to unpack on today's show. You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Allie Barefoot, and Steve Kerr has given an update on Andrew Wiggins' absence. I'm going to break down what this will mean for the Golden State Warriors moving forward and what's going on with Andrew Wiggins right now. On the back half of the show, Charles Barkley is at it again. He said on the TNT crew that the Warriors aren't a contender in the Western Conference, which is bananas. So we're going to break down what Charles Barkley said, and I have something to say to Charles Barkley. Stick around for that, but first and foremost, Steve Kerr did say before the Warriors versus Knicks game that Andrew Wiggins does expect to be back with the Warriors. They're just not sure when. Now, if you guys do remember when he took this hiatus last year, there wasn't even that kind of update. We weren't sure if he was even returning that season. So in my opinion, I do think that's still a pretty good update. But let's break down what Shams Charania had to say about the Andrew Wiggins situation. He said, I'm told Andrew Wiggins is dealing and tending to a serious family matter right now. The Warriors are giving him his space and they're giving him his time. The expectation is Andrew Wiggins will be returning at some point this season. They're optimistic about that, but they also understand he's going through this process. Once again, whatever Andrew Wiggins is going through, I hope that he is getting the help that he needs. It's unfortunate that it is a family matter. Of course, if this was anybody else, even my family, producer Coop's family, you have to deal with family first. That's obviously always going to be bigger than basketball. But while we're talking about basketball, the Warriors are doing pretty okay right now without Andrew Wiggins. They've won their last 2 games without Wiggins. He's about to miss his third against the Toronto Raptors. But if you take a look at the next couple of games that are coming up, they could actually do without Wiggins for, I would say, 3 of the 5 games coming up, just the way the Warriors have been playing. They went and dominated the Knicks at MSG the other night. Now they're going to play Toronto. I'm pretty nervous about the Boston Celtics, I'm not going to lie, along with a back-to-back game, March 3rd and March 6th, against the top 3 Eastern contenders right now, the Celtics and the Bucks. That one will be tough to play without Wiggins if he is no longer with the Warriors. The Chicago Bulls, San Antonio Spurs, I do feel like they will be okay without Andrew Wiggins as they have struggled throughout the Eastern Conference so far this year. So if Wiggins needs more time, he can at least miss the next 5 games and they could still produce a win without Andrew Wiggins if he does still need some time to be with his family. But we also know Andrew Wiggins could be out for a very long time. They saw this last year, and you know what's interesting? I actually did the research because I thought it was around the same time, and it was. Andrew Wiggins missed February 14th. That was his first game, the 2022-23 season, that he missed, starting off his 25-game absence with the Golden State Warriors. He returned just in time for the NBA playoffs, which makes me very nervous just for the Golden State Warriors point. I do hope Wiggins is getting the help that he needs, but a business still has to be run. So if Wiggins is out for 25 more games until the Warriors go to the playoffs, well, I don't know what Wiggins' role is going to be coming back. So with all of this up in the air, I'm thinking, man, is he going to miss 5? Is he going to miss 10? I do hope that he's okay, and I hope the best for his family. But in terms of the Golden State Warriors basketball program, how many games do you think Andrew Wiggins will miss this time? I guess it'd be a little bit different. I probably wouldn't be asking this question if this was the first time he was taking a long hiatus. But since he's already missed 25 games last year, I'm nervous he could miss 25 again. Go on ahead and comment how many games you think Andrew Wiggins is going to be out this time. And then I'm going to break down why I think the Warriors will be okay just for a little while longer without Wiggins and my message to Charles Barkley. But first, let's talk about Prize Picks. I'm playing it. Coop's playing it, and here's why you guys should too. Number 1, it's super, super easy to play. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats, and you can win up to 25 times your money on any entry. This is the number 1 play to play daily fantasy sports. It's just so exciting. The number 1 thing I love about Prize Picks is that it actually updates you in real time about how your Prize Picks is doing. So no more going back and forth to the box score, seeing how many points Jonathan Kuminga has or what Derek White's doing. You just go to the app and it shows you a little meter of how your picks are going. And of course, I have Jonathan Kuminga. I'm taking the more on Jonathan Kuminga for the rest of the season. This kid is something different. I have him having more than 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Come on. He just had 25 and 8 against the Knicks. I'm taking that one for sure. Derek White, more than 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists as well. Maybe a little bit harder as there's more assets on the Celtics, but I think it'll be pretty fun. So these are my prize picks. Go on ahead and make yours. Just go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. And also Prize Picks offers Apple Pay, quick, easy deposits into your account throughout the entire basketball season. So if you guys are looking for a fun way to try to earn some money, I would go to Prize Picks if I were you. All right, let's talk about the Golden State Warriors now, who seem to have been heating up a little bit before the All-Star break, but they've kept their momentum. The fact that they've won the last 10 of their 12 games, whether Wiggins was there, whether or not, there are still NBA analysts out there, Charles Barkley, who think the Golden State Warriors have no business even competing in the Western Conference right now. I'll break down what Charles Barkley had to say on the inside the NBA TNT crew. He said, look, these teams in the West are not worried about the Lakers and the Warriors, who are currently 9th and 10th in the Western Conference. We've been kissing these guys' asses so much, we don't brag about the number 19 in the Eastern Conference. They ain't got no chance. The Lakers and the Warriors, they're on a little spell. They're doing well, but they're not going to beat those top teams up top, so just stop juicing them up. Charles Barkley, I do not agree with you at all. Why? Because I'm not comparing the East and the West, but the Boston Celtics are 8 games ahead the number 2 spot in the Eastern Conference, whereas the Western Conference seems to be a little bit more compact in the standings. If you look at the top 4 teams, those have been switching interchangeably for the past couple of weeks. Maybe not the Minnesota Timberwolves per se, but the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers, the Thunder, they've been switching positions. The Suns, New Orleans Pelicans, and Dallas Mavericks are also playing that switcheroo a lot this season. There is still time for the Golden State Warriors to continue to climb the ladder. The Lakers just went to overtime with the Wizards. I truly do think the Warriors have a chance to potentially bring themselves up to the 7th, maybe 6th seed before that playoff does come out. But nonetheless, it's too early to even dismiss any teams in any conference. The Boston Celtics, the number 1 team in the NBA right now, could go on a 10-game losing streak and completely switch up the standings between now and the end of April. I think this is a crazy thing to say, Charles Barkley. And even Kenny Smith Jr. and Shaq O'Neal said, that's just not right. Shaquille O'Neal actually said, I would pick the Warriors to make the playoffs over the Lakers right now. The Warriors are still constantly finding ways to win, which is making me think they have the hot hand right now. And one hot hand is Jonathan Kuminga, who had one of his best performances the other night against the Knicks. Maybe not in terms of box scores. We have seen Kuminga put up these types of numbers, but I'm talking about athleticism. I'm talking about off-ball movement. He had 2 steals, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 25 points, 12 for 19 in Madison Square Garden. Are you kidding me? And then another big-time player who's super young, Moses Moody. Mo's been stepping up since Wiggins has been out. In the past 2 games, he's been in the starting lineup, averaging 10 points. 4 rebounds, 45% from the field. Let's not talk about the 3-point percentage right now. Let's leave that to Curry. But still, Mo is making a name for himself and helping the Warriors win. It doesn't matter about the first half of the season. Well, let me rephrase that. It always does matter. But we all know the second half of the season is where it really comes in to play. With Wiggins out, Moses Moody continues to shine. Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga are completely shutting down veteran ball for Steve Kerr. And now you've got a huge asset in Klay Thompson coming off the bench. The Warriors may have found their consistency late, but they have found it. And it's go time now. So, my question to you guys is, do you think the Dubs are actually contenders in the Western Conference? Do you agree with Charles Barkley, or do you think the Warriors are different from the Lakers? The Western Conference is different from the Eastern Conference, and they do still have a chance. They're pretty much locked in, I would say, if nothing else changes, to make the play-in. But I don't know if the Warriors will make the playoffs outright. Go on ahead and comment why or why not down below. While you guys are doing that, just go on ahead, scroll back up on this page. hit that sub button for me because there's going to be a lot of news coming out about Andrew Wiggins, and I would hate for you guys to not be in the know. So if you guys want to know anything about the Golden State Warriors or Andrew Wiggins updates, just hit that sub button for me.